Good morning, everyone. I think it's Thursday morning. Welcome back to May May's and Tuck Garden Chronicles of 2024. Yes, guys, we done made it to the spring of 2024, and I know it's time for everybody to be out planting their crops. Probably have already started because in different zones, the weather and stuff heat up, the ground heat up uh, earlier than others, but ours did heat up like it normally do to the point where we could plant our spring crops, whether we did it like we normally do or not. Guys, you know I chronicleize my little garden space. Very small garden space, but it's sufficient for me, for Tuck and I and our small family. So guys, that's what I'm here to do this morning, to open this up and tell you what's different and what we normally share with you guys. Uh, but I hope it be fun and enjoyable and that you enjoy the small knowledge that we contribute to growing your own food, which is absolutely wonderful and awesome. God has given us all kind of signs and wonders and disasters and everything else to show. Don't forget the bridge that brought you over. Guys, growing your own food is the bridge that brought us over, especially Tuck and I. A lot of you younger people cannot relate to it, but we know exactly what it is. It ain't, it's fun for some of y'all or whatever. I don't want to, don't have to. But I was, raised in the country. And this was a staple and a part of our life. Seeing our parents and then what we had to contribute to growing our own food. My daddy and mama over with, like, they had hogs, they had chickens, and my daddy loved to go out in the woods and hunt. He loved that. I be thinking of certain times a year I could walk out in the weather and look, and I would think back when I was a little girl out in the country, before we even done got out the bed and stuff. I may see my daddy coming across the field in that army bag that he carried, his little uh, partridge and doves and whatever them little, whatever little bird, what them birds that you call them little birds there, uh,
Quails.
quails and all of that stuff. And he used to bring the little eggs. Sometimes he bring a lot of little quail eggs and stuff up there. And that was just amazing to me to see them little tiny eggs, simply because I was a young girl in the learning stage. And that is what's embedded into the fibers of my life. And that is what I shared with my children. And I also had the opportunity to share it with my granddaughters when they was a lot younger. And my baby granddaughter was so fascinated by it. And my older granddaughter, which they only is about 18 months apart, they just like twins, and she was like, not so much. I don't care nothing for you guys, bugs and stuff outside, Nana, and it's hot, and something just, a gnat flew on me, and they liable to scream so loud, bloody murder, you think, oh my God, the biggest snake ever was is out there. What is it, baby? What is it? It was a, I don't, they used to call them bugs when they first started coming, spending the summer with me. They would call it everything but what it was. I had my granddaughter out one morning, just a little small story time, and I was sitting out on the porch, and she was just beginning to learn to ride the bicycle, and she had training wheels on it, and she was riding up the driveway, and she came back, and she said, Nana, uh, a beetle bit me. I was like, what? She said, a beetle bit me. I said, oh my God. And it had a bump on it and all that. And I went around and I said, show me where they at, because I kept my spray can. I always was armed with my spray can. I went around there and it was just some little ants. Now they used to be scared to death of an ant. And you know when you live in any house out in the country or not country, you liable to get an ant or two in there. But when she would see them things, they would scream so loud, Papa T, Papa T, Papa T, it's a bird. So, after a while that became, that was just humorous to me. It would tickle me so bad when they would see something. Tuck always, because most of the time he was working, he would be here with them as much, and he hadn't got conditioned to all that there blood curdling screaming for just maybe a gnat or a little fly. What did he hear come in? What that they would that? It's over there. It's over there. It was flying. It was flying. And Here may say, oh, that was just a little moth. Or either he say, y'all had the door open and little walson flew in or whatever. And he was and they were sort of like, get that thing out of here immediately. But guys, so much for that, because I'm not going to stay on here long. Tuck is going to do the what we already have planned. He gonna do the little tour, chronicalizing it for you guys, because I am working on the data part of this. I'm trying to compile this for my son, my grandkids, future grandkids, and all of that, because Brittany don't have any kids yet, but we're praying and trusting in God, if it's His will, that she will have a husband with children and family one day. And if Papa T, if they're not here, or they just, the memory of something ain't good, or whatever, and they don't need to trust it, I have it all written down. And that is what I'm using my videos for. I'm telling them the story of that I can remember and in real time as to what goes on out in the garden. Guys, we're doing this different because most of the vegetables that Tuck plant is like springtime vegetables. And I always did mine a little later. If I was going to plant something a little later than he normally do it, I would always do 2 weeks. There would be 2 full weeks into May. Sometimes it'd be the end of May. But things would work out real good, and I would have that data to know that what grows what. I'm compiling it, if that's the right word. I'm compiling it just fine for us, and I go in and make corrections and stuff. And I'm just sharing these little videos. Glad to share it with you guys. And I told you guys I'm not an expert. I'm out here learning just like you guys. And that but anything that you want to ask me about pertaining to what I do or we grow out in the garden, we will try to share and answer that to the best of our ability. But I want you to understand, I'm not trying to share no expert knowledge, because I have used a lot of expert knowledge and information and stuff like that, and find out, oh, that's not. I still had to go back to my old, what I know, common sense. Don't ever forget your common sense, guys. Old people back in the days used to call it mother wit. How many of y'all ever heard that word from the elders? And we gotten so far in life, and the elders been going on, your ancestors been going on so long, that some of you guys probably never heard that word. But it was right in the midst of us growing out. Use your mother wit. Now we call it common sense or whatever. And I guarantee you, that first mind, if you have been taught and raised properly like you should, according to your age and stuff, and told stuff that you should know, you would know it was always on point. Somehow or another, no matter how much you learn or what you done heard, what that most of the time what those elders was telling you at first, that was it. And then you add to it and add your experience and knowledge to it as you grow. But if you have an elder that even care enough nowadays to want to share with you some knowledge on back there in the yesteryears, accept it. Know that that's God's way of supplying you with something that He know that you probably gonna need in your life journey. Guys, like I say, I'm not here to preach with you guys. I'm here to just open this up, and Tuck is probably ready to do the tour. And this here is a nice morning, but it's kind of drizzling and rain a little bit. And I'm showing you guys these two impatient. These plants are called impatient. Don't be impatient, guys, for nothing. But they had them on sale for 2 for $3, and you know I always try to get some blooms in my area where I garden so that it can attract all the pollinators that you're gonna need, especially in the springtime, to pollinate your vegetables and stuff. Just like your snap beans, your squash, your okra, all of that, cucumbers, all of those plants and stuff need pollinate. But I think I'm going to, this year, I'm not really sure. We just, as we go, we tell you how we going to do. I'm going to concentrate more on the fall planting, simply because these grow beds I have in certain areas, it's time for me to get some data on what grows well in those spots. Those are my sun spots, and I put all my vegetables that requires the long amount of sunlight in the daytime. That's what we plants over there in that area. And I don't and if I'm adding something new to what we are planting, and we probably won't. We probably done came up with all the vegetables that we probably plan to grow. But I cannot get the cucumbers right. And a shout out to Yo Throats. She did some what is the name of those watermelons, Gary, she was planting? Hey, my sister Yo Throats. She was
Sugar
planting
babies, I
sugar
think.
baby watermelons. And I took a lot of tips from her, simply because I did watermelons last year, and I did it with some seeds that I had saved from when I found a seeded watermelon in the store, because that's something that you don't find too often. So I told Chuck, I said, I'm gonna harvest these seeds and plant them and see how they do. They did okay, but I want to use this tip that Miss Yothrop used planting her watermelons, because she has a lots of knowledge to share. I listen to a lot of people that do gardening and whatever and all that stuff, and I can take some tips from everybody. But from what my grandparents and all the people that was surround me in the country that I can remember, is about to go dead.
Mm-mm.
Uh, you want me to stop or go ahead?
Go.
I'm talking to you guys a little longer than I would. I hadn't been on a while. But anyway, she comes real close to it. But she is blessed to still have her mother here. And her mother has a wealth of knowledge that she don't mind sharing to the YouTube people, especially the ones that want to receive that. If she's about like me, I give it to the ones that want to receive it. And just like uh, Jesus told the disciples when they went off into the village to spread the word, to those that want to receive it, let them receive it. Those that won't, you just shake the dust off and move on. Because one day it'll probably come back up in their knowledge, in their memories, that they should have listened. Because you may be faced with that one day and you're like, oh, this is what they was talking about. That I thought it was old-fashioned, old-time. I don't pay you young whippersnappers no attention with this old-time and old stuff. I ain't been on this earth going on almost 70-something years. I'm more closer to 70 than I am to 60, to know that all of this stuff gonna come back at you. And if you have some elders that care enough to try to share some of this stuff with you, that's a gem. Don't get some of these young people that's in these books and all of that stuff doing their little testing stage. They sharing stuff that has stood the test of time. They have lived it, they have seen it, they have experienced it in all kind of ways. And on that note, guys, I'll be talking to you more during the season during the garden season of this in 2024. But I'm going to turn this over to Tuck, and he gonna show you what he's have already did and what he planned to do. Guys, you guys have a great day and a wonderful planting season, and get all of this stuff in your knowledge. I got this YouTuber that I watch. I love her show. I watch what I want to watch, and she has a subscriber on there. She was like, she always be saying, it was in my shanana, and I'll be sharing what's in my shanana to you guys, and get what you want. Take the meat and spit out the bones and keep it pushing. You ain't got to criticize and say what I do and don't know, because it's not going to affect me. It's going to be all on you. Okay, guys, enjoy telling to you, and I'm going to turn it over to Tuck, and he's going to share what he has did already. So enjoy. You got it, Tuck?
Hey guys, I want to give you a quick view of what I have going on here in the garden, me and May. This is one of the raised beds that we have here. Actually, this is the first raised bed that we purchased, that they may have purchased, and I have different types of peppers planted out here. You can see from looking in that how I have them spaced, and these peppers are supposed to get up pretty good size. I'm gonna move around a little bit and show you. Now, some of these is hot banana peppers, but there are different varieties of peppers I have here, and you can see that little flower there. The flower there, these are our pollinators for this bed. We put them here and try to go. Now, these haven't been planted very long yet. They may say on some things we got started a little later than we usually do, and this is some of the stuff that we started on a little later. So you see, we have those peppers here, guys. Tomatoes. That was a late planter right there, but look at these tomatoes here. This is called a husky cherry tomato. And we have another tomato plant here. You can see it have tomatoes on it. And let's see what's the name of this one. It's a husky Goliath tomato. So yes, we did try some different tomatoes and things this season to kind of see what the difference is and what they look like, and the difference in the taste of the various tomato plants and things that we planted. And we move right along. Another big pot of pollinators for us here. And we have more peppers. Got some different type peppers here. This one is called a Mad Hatter plant. Let me look at this and see if we can show here. See, that's another one. Mad Hatter. I'm going to see what they're going to do. They also have some jalapeno peppers as well. And there, guys, the zucchini. And if you remember from our last spring videos, that we had some humongous size zucchini plant that we've showed you all. And when I plant these back in the same location where we had those, these have all been planted later, and this is what they're doing right now. Guys, look at here. Look at our lemon tree. Look at the lemon tree, how we get lemons on the trees, and trees is growing, and we having to put stakes on it to prop it up. Okay, that's right there. I'm going to go to another area. Okay, guys, this is our newest raised bed that we purchased here, but look what we have here. These are cucumbers. And like I said, all this stuff here is haven't been planted very long at all. This, you're talking about 3 weeks or so a plant here, 3 to 4 weeks at the most. And have those in this here, and you can see we have trellises that we have purchased on here, and these are pickling cucumbers right here on this side for this trellis, and I have about 4 around the trellis, and these are the straight 8, the larger cucumbers. And hopefully what we're working towards, hopefully we can get those trained, because you know they have tentacles, they spread, and that we can get those to latch onto those trellises and hopefully clamp the trellis and have a large amount of cucumbers. Okay, we're going to move on to another spot. Hey guys, and this is my in-ground garden. You know, guys, these are green beans. Now I planted these earlier. These were planted back in April. This stuff at a latter part of April after Good Friday in that area. And you see my green beans are coming right along, looking quite well. A lot of them have blooms and everything on them. More tomatoes. Here I have a full row of different tomatoes in different size stages. Look at here, guys. More zucchini. And these zucchini here I'm planting in ground. Just gonna see how they're gonna do in ground here. And of course I was saying, you see tomato plants going on along here. And I'm gonna swing right on around here. Eggplants. These are the Japanese eggplants. Now all of these eggplants and everything right here was planted a little later. I didn't plant all of this at once at the same time. So eggplants are a bit behind everything else. These are peppers here. These are cayenne peppers right here on this end. Those smaller pepper plants. And all of this I planted after the green beans and tomatoes and stuff. The first things I planted for the spring were the green beans and those tomatoes. And everything else was added in increments after that. Okay, yeah, that's my in-ground garden. I want to show you that. But if you remember, I also had things put in buckets and pails. You know, we always have expressed to you guys, those of you that even if you didn't have a lot of space to grow gardens or anything like that, or you lived in an apartment or had a balcony or a deck, that you could plant things that you normally would eat and have you some fresh vegetables and things through the spring and growing months. So we plant things in containers. And I want to show you some of that, which I have lined up here along beside my in-ground garden. Here, guys, that's okra. We eat plenty of okra here in our home. That's one that's a little smaller. But these are okra. They're all planted in buckets and beds and any type of buckets or pots that you can get. Flower pots here. We have 5-gallon buckets that have different things. Anything that will hold soil that you can put a drain hole in that will drain, you can usually plant you some vegetables. Look at that right there, guys. Now that is a squash. And let me show you. See if I can get down in here. But there's a little squash growing on them. I don't know if you can see it or not on there. I just wanted to show you that. A strawberry plant. That's a dwarf strawberry right there, that smaller one. This is a bigger strawberry plant. All of these, this strawberry plant here I planted this year. Pepper. More pepper right here. This was another hot banana pepper. Now we picked about 4 or 5 parts off of this pepper. My children was here this weekend, and my son, he took those peppers that was ready off of this, and took it back home with him to Birmingham. Here's my daughter. There's more squash. More squash is coming up all along. So guys, so that's what we wanted to show you. It's pretty much a going thing for us, as May stated. We came up on vegetable gardens and eating gardens and fresh food and vegetables and stuff during growing seasons, and it has become a way of life for us, and that we enjoy doing it. And we don't just do it just for the fun. We do it for the food, even though we don't totally have to depend on it. But it's always good to be able to get fresh vegetables out of your own garden, stuff like that. It tastes so much better than those you can get out of the store a lot of times. Anytime you can do something fresh like that and plant something fresh, have fresh vegetable, fresh cut meats, anything like that, it always seems to be better, because they do not go through all the process and everything that usually is done to make stuff last longer in the stores. So we just want to run that by you here, and just remember, you don't need a whole lot of space to plant something that will grow in your area. Tomatoes, it's a great plant to put on your balcony, patio. Okra, peppers, strawberries, anything that you like eating a lot of, and you have just any kind of small space that's available where you can put containers or anything like that. So even the small spaces in your yard, like we have here. This is a small area for us here. And two, as I stated, we use grow beds a lot to be able to put more stuff in, because we have such a small area. Now, and this grow bed here, this is where we had our watermelons and things last year that didn't do very well. But in our fall garden, we had turnips. Out here we had different type of vegetables and things like that out here, and we had a good crop on. You might be able to see one or two little sprouting back up from what we had last fall. But this, in the spring, usually I try to put watermelons in. This is what we're going to try to put some watermelons in, and just see what they do at this point. And this is what some of what Meme was talking about, chronologize, and just seeing how well they do and everything like that. So we have not had a whole lot of good success with watermelon. We've gotten some off them, but they have not produced in the way that we hoped they would. Okay guys, I'm gonna move on. Okay guys, and last but not least, I know some of you may remember this from last season, but our pollinators plants. But these were perennials. That's right, perennials. These plants all died down in the winter, and look how they have come back this spring. We have not planted anything else out here. They came back because they are perennials, and perennials do return each year. A lot of times you pay a little bit more for them, not a whole lot more, but it's worth it that you don't have to continue to keep buying the same thing over and over. And these are our pollinators. I mean, we have insect, bees, butterflies, and everything here, and they take pollen from one place to the other and goes over to our beans and our tomatoes and our squash and cucumbers and eggplants and peppers, and they pollinate these plants. You might can see some bees flying around there on them now. Okay, all right guys, until next time, I just want to give you a view of what we had, and just remember what May always said: think positive, use your common sense, and remember that May loves you, and so do I. And you guys have a good, great day, and And those of you that are gardening and planting, have a good and great, prosperous growing season. Until next time, bye.